Wasn't even going to attempt the big one for a record, but I thought I need a win, and I need a win early. It's a quiet day at the Witsit house. The Gimp is hopped up on drugs and hopefully sleeping. She's doing well. The pain is tolerable, and they told us that's the best we could expect. So that's good. It's Friday, November 20. Let's do this.
Cooking with Landon is brought to you by the John Calvin Center for Palliative Care and viewers like you. Thank you. Today on Cooking with Landon, Landon cooks for the Gimp. The Gimp arose and she was hungry, so Landon made her some oatmeal. Landon put the oatmeal into the pot and then he stirred it with a pretty little spoon. You have to have a pretty little spoon when you make oatmeal. That is the rule. Landon stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred. Oh, there is the oatmeal with brown sugar and some dried cranberries and a little bit of half and half. Very nice. And now it is time for Landon's breakfast. Landon likes apples, lots and lots of apples, and Landon can cut up apples better than anyone. 1, 2. And then he cuts it on the bias. There you go, Landon. Do all of them. That's right. That's right. Very nice. Now Landon has 8 pieces after 10 cuts. Landon is a very happy little boy. Very nice. When we come back, Landon cooks the Gimp lunch.
I just released the first episode of Strange Book of Books. You can get to it right here. Right here. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo, but if you want it, you can click it. You can get it by clicking right here. Click it. Click. 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 Click.
Welcome back to Cooking with Landon. Now, Landon cooks the Gimp a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. In order to cook a grilled ham and cheese sandwich, you need 4 things. You need 2 slices of bread, some cheese, some ham, and some butter. Begin by heating a cast iron skillet and put the ham right in there. Flip it a couple of times. That's right. You want it nice and toasty. Now push it to the side. Add some butter right in the pan and put the sandwich on the butter. Place the ham there, nestle it so, and put your other piece of bread on the top. Add another knob of butter and then flip it and soak up all that buttery goodness. Now it's time to cut it. Cut it on diagonal and arrange it very pretty on the plate. Then for the Gimp, sprinkle it with some love and fairy dust. Very nice. When we come back, Landon cooks the Gimp dinner.
Since I'm working from home today, as well as trying to take care of the Gimp, I don't have a lot of time for vlogging, but I do have 3 things that I would like to comment on. At midnight last night, I got onto RDO, my streaming service, and tried to find Adele's new album. It wasn't there. I thought, okay, maybe it's not going to release at midnight Central Time. Maybe it'll be midnight Pacific Time. That's fine. I can wait till tomorrow. I log in this morning. It's still not there. And then I read in the New York Times that Adele is not going to stream her new album. I'm crushed. I'm crushed. 2. In related news, my streaming service, RDO, was bought by Pandora. That means it's going to be shut down. I'm not sure what to do. My friend Rocky has already moved over to Google Play Music. I may have to check that out, but I've been with RDO for several years now. It is a great service. It's got great discovery. It's got great playback. I don't know what me and my kids are going to do. 3, and this is serious. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. 81 people so far this year have been killed worldwide simply because they are a person who is transgendered. This has become a common topic for a lot of us, particularly in America, due to the bravery of Caitlyn Jenner. And so all I want to do is I want to recount for you the tips that GLAAD gives for folks who want to be a transgender ally. You can't tell if someone's transgender simply by looking. People come from a lot of backgrounds, and people may not appear visibly trans. So don't assume anything. Gender identity is different than sexual orientation. Do not make any assumptions about a transgender person's sexual orientation. If you don't know what pronouns to use, that's okay. Just ask. Some people prefer he, him. Some people prefer she, her. Some people prefer they, their. All you have to do is ask. Do not, I repeat, do not, under any circumstances, ask a transgender person what their real name is. Whatever name they give you, that is their real name. Understand that there is a difference between coming out as lesbian, bisexual, or gay and coming out as trans. Be careful about confidentiality, about disclosure, and about outing. A person's gender identity is theirs. It is not yours. You do not have the right to tell the world who they are. Respect the terminology that a transgender person uses to describe their identity. Some people use transgender, some use transsexual, some use genderqueer, etc. Respect whatever it is that the person standing in front of you wants you to use. Be patient with people who are exploring their gender identity. Understand that there is no right or wrong way to transition. It is different for every person. If you have met one transgender person, you have met one transgender person. Don't ask about a transgender person's genitals, surgical status, or sex life. You wouldn't ask me that. Don't ask them. Avoid backhanded compliments. Things like, you look just like a real woman. Challenge anti-transgender jokes or remarks in public spaces. Support gender-neutral restrooms. Be the one in a meeting or an event to set the inclusive tone. Listen. This one is always the simplest and, in my opinion, the most important. Listen. A person's experience and story is the most powerful thing they can share, and it is your key to understanding the person standing in front of you. Listen. And finally, know your limits as an ally. Don't be afraid to admit that you don't know something. I know very, very little about the trans community, and I am learning all the time, and I am grateful to people who are willing to teach me, but it is important to remember that you are not an expert. Again, if you've met one transgender person, you have met one transgender person.
Welcome back to Cooking with Landon. Now, Landon cooks the Gimp homemade chicken noodle soup. Begin by grabbing your crock pot. Make sure and take off the lid. Be careful. Nestle it there. Then put the big scary chicken right in the pot. There you go. Gather your supplies. You'll need salt and pepper and olive oil and some herbs. Begin by liberally sprinkling the salt. Landon doesn't know where you get your chicken, but where he gets his, they don't come seasoned. Add some black peppercorns. Pepper is the spice of life. Then some herbs all over that pretty little chicken, yes. Then add some garlic. You need lots of garlic because it makes your breath smell really, really good. Don't be shy. Then add the olive oil. Fat is flavor, children. You need lots and lots of fat for it to taste good. Next, cut up an onion. You want to slice it up really nice. Take all those nasty bits off. There we go. Get it. There we go. Get it again. Now take off that nasty dry skin. Just take it right off. Cut it up and then break it apart, just like that, and put it in the pot. Do the same thing with an apple. You know that Landon likes apples, and we cut the apple again. Here we go, just like that. Cut it up. On the bias. Good job, Landon. And put it in the pot. Now, you need to plug in your crock pot or it won't work. Just like that. Turn it on. Set it to high. Enter. Very nice. When the chicken has reached an appropriate temperature, you can pull it out. Test the temperature with a thermometer. Very nice. Now you can prep for the soup. Get another onion and cut it up. You want to dice it up just so. There we go. Make sure and keep your fingers out of the way. Do the same thing with some carrots. Again, keep your fingers out of the way. Put a pot onto the stove. and glug in a lot of olive oil. You need a lot of olive oil for it to have good mouth feel. Add in some garlic. There you go. Garlic is good. And the carrots. Once the carrots are in, you need to season them. The key to good cooking is seasoning at every step. That's why your food tastes bad and Landon's tastes good. Pepper. Stir it up. Stir it up. Now the onions. You have to do the carrots first because they take longer to cook. And again, you need to stir it up. Stir it up. Seasoning. That's right. You have to season so your food can taste like Landon's. While your vegetables are cooking, take the chicken and pull all the meat off the bone. You want to get all that juicy goodness. Discard the bones back into the crock pot and put the meat right onto the plate. Put the juices from the crock pot in and then add the chicken. Then add 8 to 10 cups of water. That'll make a good soup. Egg noodles are the best. Very nice. Add them to the soup. Stir it up. Very good. That's a good looking bowl of chicken noodle soup. Very nice. Thank you for joining us this week on Cooking with Landon. Next week, Landon cooks for President Obama.